Welcome back, you beautiful brave hearts all around the world. Today is a Real People, Real Healing, and I'm with Christine, and we're going to be talking about underweight, undernourished. Now, I'm going to lay some things out before I bring Christine on, and that's this. Do you know that everybody believes that they're open-minded? Do you know that everyone believes that they actually recognize their heart and what the heart is, and most people don't even know what the heart is. Most people think it's just a pump. You know, happy Valentine's Day, you know. I love you with all my heart. My heart is broken. My heart's in pieces. Understand this. I'm going to tell you something right now. I am absolutely nobody special. I'm not better than anyone else, but I can tell you this much. That I'm 1 out of 10,000 realizing that we do not recognize our personalities. Everybody thinks they're open-minded. Everybody thinks they're open-hearted. Everybody thinks they process through their heart, but they don't, or the world wouldn't be actually attacking themselves and attacking their family, and we wouldn't be going to war, would we, and killing people that we don't even know and why we're even there. What's this got to do with underweight and undernourished? Well, I'm going to tell you something. The mind, okay, is the ruler of the physical world. The mind is the ruler of the physical world. And you are the end result of your personality, your finances, your health, okay, your relationships with yourself and everybody else. And if you take a look at your body, everything from the so-called aging spots, the wrinkles, okay, the so-called diseases, which there are no diseases. There's just symptoms of your body crying out that it's saying, why can't you love me? Because you've never been taught, that's why. And you've never been taught on an emotional level how to process your emotions. But you know what? We're all going to fight to be right, because that's what the subconscious always does. Do you ever notice that? I will never fight to be right. I'm not even going to fight. I'm going to love to be happy. I'm going to walk away from people that don't even realize, it's not stubborn. It's just that they don't realize that the subconscious rules your every moment. Your every moment. How about when you're sleeping? How about when you're awake? How about the majority of the population is actually in the present moment 2%? How about people that are underweight and undernourished? They might be getting the same nourishment as everyone else, okay? And that's the reality. Not that the majority are getting nourishment anymore, because they're not. Take a look at the population. But the reality is you're going to burn it up. Okay, I already told this many times that the first thing is trace minerals. Trace minerals are actually the first and most important thing in our life. And understand something, people that are underweight and undernourished are not getting enough trace minerals, they're not getting enough amino acids, they're not getting enough fatty acids, okay? And they don't even know it, but they've got what you call a monkey brain. They jump from branch to branch. But as long as they've seen that they've calmed down, or maybe they just slowed down because they've lost energy, because it's very tiring to overheat the brain, because you get this thing that they call depression, but there is no depression because the brain actually shuts down. And does anybody know that anxiety will eat up calories faster than anything else? Any hard work can't compare to it. It'll eat up calories, it'll eat up your tissues, your organs, it'll eat up your joints, because it's going to actually rob Peter to pay Paul. That's why we have osteopenia all the way to osteoporosis, to osteoarthritis, to osteoporosis severe, where people are actually not falling down, but their actual bones are breaking, and then they say they fell down. And every doctor will say, oh, well, you fell down and broke your bone. Well, to tell you the God's truth, they're not allowed to tell you that you're actually falling down because of why? Oh, my God. You're actually falling down because your bones are breaking, because you made them into Swiss cheese. You cannot gain weight when your mind is racing. And the reality is, it's like people say, oh, I have a good diet. Oh, yeah, compared to everybody else. And, this is my personality. Well, no, it's not your personality. The reality is whether you're overweight or underweight, just know this: it is a lifetime of accumulated thoughts that become beliefs, that become programs that actually create the physical. We know this. The invisible creates the physical. We know the psychological rules the biological. And guess what? We know that people have worked on themselves, but guess what? They worked to a certain point of what? Turning the burner down, but they didn't turn the burner off. I guarantee you that anybody that doesn't get what they want in their life, they compromise what they want with other people because they need approval. Things are taken personal. And, I just want to stay in my lane and I don't want any disruptions. The reality is when I was younger, I was taught that if I meditated enough and if I prayed enough and I tried to find peace enough that I'd have a peaceful life. Well, the reality is that's none of that's even true. The reality is that a walking meditation is what you need to create because it's not what you do in your meditation. It's what you do when you're not meditating. It's the rest of the day. So the reality is, are you actually connected to the lion heart breath where you're bringing 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out, wearing a slight smile no matter what's going on in the world, shoulders back, and feeling grateful for everything you have, but knowing that you are a human being with unlimited potential. So you should be wanting more from yourself, okay, and from the universe because it can provide it. You don't want more from others. They're not going to give it. Others are not going to give it. The government's not going to give it. The medical system's not going to. No system is going to give you what you want. And your family's not going to give you what you want unless they want something from you. And you may think that that's harsh, but the reality is this. When does your husband, your wife, your children love you? When they need love or when they need something? And Christine, tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You just touched my heart with all what you said. It just made me so aware, and I need to be more conscious.
You are not conscious. You're not conscious at all. You're conscious 10%. And you think that 10% is 100%. And you know what? This is not because you're stupid. It's because we were all stupefied. And understand something. People think of me as outrageous, dangerous, big mouth. Understand something. I am not going to live any other way except doing the Braveheart oath every day and living it. I am going to live it. I am not going to judge anyone, no matter how they feel about me, whether they love me, they don't like me, they hate me, okay? Whatever the case may be, whether they talk about me, it doesn't really matter. It's none of my business. And the reality is this. You know as well as I do, and I've known you for over a year now, and I see you compromising yourself when you're with the group, with the Braveheart Nation, and then soon as you're on your own, you compromise every bloody thing about yourself and you dumb yourself down to make everybody else comfortable. That's why you're underweight. Okay. That's why you're undernourished. And it's not because you're not taking the extra nourishment in. For God's sakes, Christine, you look amazing. The nourishment is working. The amino acids, the fatty acids, the whole plant-based fiber, okay, the minerals. It's all working. We can see it. You're absolutely gorgeous. You're radiant. But understand something. It takes more than that. It takes that you become to a point, right?
Right.
You don't negotiate personal love with anybody outside yourself. You don't negotiate that. And don't tell me because I see it. I can always see where you've wanted something and you've pulled yourself back to make somebody comfortable in your family or in your life because they have a different story for you on how you should live. And guess what? You're very accommodating and you don't even know it. And there's the problem, but that's specific to you. Now, does this affect everybody? Well, yes, everybody. But the reality is this. You can't come and take a whole life health coach certification, come on these Q&As and do flip coin. Your subconscious is confused. You know what? You go in and put an order in when you're hanging around with Bravehearts, and then guess what? You change your order, and guess what? The universe goes, well, I'm bringing you nothing. You're either going to tell me what you want, and not change the order all the time. So as soon as you go and you place your order, the waiter is actually the universe. It's the higher intelligence that we've made into a lower intelligence that is some kind of God that judges us and is always watching us and judging us, which is the biggest crapshoot I've ever heard in my life. It's electrical light energy that created the universe. It doesn't take things personal. It doesn't get emotional. And there's only one rule, and that is why are you changing your order all the time? And guess what? You don't even have to open your mouth when you come on the practitioner Q&As, and I'm not beating you up. You said, Daryl, I want to do this show, and I want the answer.
I did. So,
Take a moment.
yeah, I'm
Take a
processing
moment.
it.
Let's take a moment to pause. You know what? And that's the whole thing. I talked loud and proud just now.
Yep.
And your subconscious is going. And now we just calm it down because we have to go in and stir it up first. And then we'll have all of the people out there that don't understand the difference between empathy and sympathy and going, oh my God, he just beat her up. Well, little do they know that there's something you're struggling with, and I told you I was going to help you with it. So we're sharing this with people, but there'll be people on here that, you know what, if they saw a three-legged dog with no hair, they'd go, oh my God. Meanwhile, that three-legged dog with no hair says, I can run as fast as a four-legged dog, and I can have the other dogs fall in love with me because of my personality. So understand, the difference between empathy and sympathy is guess what? I have empathy for the world, okay, but they better understand the rules. And that's what I want to do. If I didn't have empathy, I'd walk away from this. I walked away from this 15 years ago and said I'd never come back into health again because I was so frustrated banging my head against but then I'm not responsible for the outcome. I can provide real information and real training. I'm not responsible for the outcome. And I'm not. Because the reality is this, you know as well as I do. You come, you're in the environment of Braveheart Nation, and then you go back to constipation. Maybe I've exaggerated it, but guess what? Things get pretty sluggish. They don't move along like they should. Well, that's because guess what? Your destiny is your destiny. And you allow other people to write your destiny because you are so sensitive to their needs. And I get it. I get it. I didn't tell you to be cruel, but understand something. You've been here long enough, and you can see that some practitioners think I'm cruel because the truth is not what they wanted. They wanted a shortcut to grandma's house. They didn't want the narrow path, which is meaning that you have to be very mindful and you have to process through their heart. They wanted the shortcut. Or they came in, they wanted to be practitioners because money was their first and foremost goal. And while we're making it, I'd like to also prove that I have value. And I want nothing to do with either one of those things. I want only practitioners that say, you know what? I am value. And guess what? I learned this because I want the best life ever. And now that I'm mastering this, oh my gosh, that would be my gift. So now I will share it. So, but understand this, at the same point, I am not a gift. I'm a gift to 1% of 1% of the population, and I know that. I know the majority is never going to opt into me, whether it's my family, my friends, and my neighbors. Do you understand why you're still underweight and undernourished here? Are you getting it yet? Now, other viewers may not, but the reality is how much are you holding back, okay? Because others say they're not coming with you and that they don't want to fly that high and they wouldn't be able to sustain the height that you want to go. We are not better. We just want more. It's the difference between, you know, being a human with unlimited potential or actually, okay, and I'm not picking on anyone. I'm just not good enough. So I'm going to get tattoos and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, I might even do the transgender thing. And then guess what? If that doesn't work, I'll be a transhuman. I mean, look at everybody. There's no stopping this. You got Elon Musk and he's got Twitter, and this has got to do with underweight and overweight. Trust me, and I'll show you in a second. He's got Twitter, and everybody thinks he's a hero because he's speaking the truth. You've got in every story, you've got your good guy and bad guy. Nobody gets power, and nobody gets money beyond belief, okay, unless they're working on the dark side. And that's it. So he's the same guy putting up all these 5G satellites all over the world. He's the same guy that built a Tesla car that'll fry your nuts and make them look like raisins, or your ovaries look like raisins, because there's so much EMF in the car and it takes so much energy to actually make that electricity that it's doing more damage to the population. So understand, Christine, why did I say that? Because the majority of the population is never going to understand you. The majority of your family is never going to understand you because they're not you. If you want to be and change the YOU into universe, because that's what you want to become. You want to become universal in your thinking. You want to become universal in your growth. And that's all based on spirit. That's not based on spiritualism. It's based on your spirit. And that's the reality. And then the other thing is this: how much do you actually exercise? Because
not enough.
What?
Not enough.
No,
Not
you
enough.
hardly. No, say the truth. Say the truth. Don't let your subconscious be the director of this interview. You hardly exercise at all. And the
20
reality is that's the same with everyone. When you were younger, you exercised all the time, and guess what? You had lots of energy. Guess what? If you exercised, you'd have lots of energy. If you weren't worried about what your husband thinks, your children think, what the people think, if you weren't trying to walk a tightrope all the time, you wouldn't be exhausting yourself. So the reality is you're never going to build muscle, so you're always going to be skinny. Unless you're going to build muscle, you're not building muscle. You lose muscle. From 40 on, if you're not working out a half an hour twice a day or an hour a day, you will not make it through to this thing. Understand, we used to spend 80% of our time outside. Christine, 80% of our time was spent outside. What were we doing outside? Were we putting coconut oil on us and laying at the beach? No, we were outside working. That's how we lived. Now, we're all inside because factory farming is poisoning us, but we're inside. Now, what is the majority of the population outside for? Tell me the percentage. I want to know the percentage. In 1 year, what is the percentage, Christine? What do you think it is?
5%?
2%.
Oh.
2% spent outside. And that's usually just going to the car. That's just going from the car to the office. That's going to the grocery store. So understand, we're losing our human potential. So
Sure.
how could you say, remember the Braveheart contract, the Braveheart Heroes contract? What if you wrote one and you built that around you? What if you built it around having a very exciting life? People can go, oh my God, he's so lucky, or he must have stole something, or ripped people off, or, the reality is the universe is there, and the universe works for us. The universe serves us, but only if you have a good relationship with it. I humble myself down with people call God, which I don't really know what it is. And then somebody on here is going to go, oh, he's so stupid, he doesn't know what it is. Well, guess what? How many different stories are there about God? So let me just say that it's universe, it's higher intelligence, it's source, and know that it's never, ever hurt me. What's hurt me is the man-made lies and BS that I've had to swallow all my life. Okay? So the reality is you're always going to be underweight when you what? When you what? Sell yourself short?
And not aligning with.
And even if you're bringing in the Beyond Ormus minerals, which are the highest electrolyte minerals in the world, and they are, for supercharging the cells, what's that going to do if you keep on negotiating with the waiter and you keep on changing what you're ordering? How does that look?
Confusing.
You've said things to me and then I've never heard from it again, and then you'll say them again, and then you drop off the cliff. And I will give you specifics, but not on the show. So understand, you kept saying you wanted this show and you wanted me to show up. Yes. And the reality is this: God, leave her alone. Okay, I'll leave everybody alone pretty soon. I'll leave this planet and then everybody will be left alone. And those people that want to be left alone should not come on this platform. This platform is for people, okay, to go and get their God-given right of unlimited human potential. And if that upsets someone, which it will, it'll upset the husband if the wife comes. And if the the husband comes, it upsets the wife. Or it upsets the children. I mean, every day I have to deal with this. I have to deal with every day. Dr. Wolf, my granddaughter, I love my daughter, but she's poisoning her and she won't listen to me. What do? Love your granddaughter. Eat right, think right, do right in front of her. And someday, you know what? Your granddaughter's going to wake up to you. And just keep doing it and mind your own business. And don't be hurt over what your granddaughter is going through right now. She's young and she's vital. And understand, every time that you say something to your daughter, do you push her away? Yes, I do. Because it's like she said, you raised me, now leave me alone, I'm raising her. And so understand, what are you waiting for? We're waiting for everyone to agree with us in our life that is close to us. It's not going to happen. Lori and I have different points of views, but not like she votes for this government or that. We don't deal with what the majority of population talk about, religion and government. We don't do that stuff. We don't talk about that. We just look at everything logically in our life. Okay? I don't want her to change her personality. I want her to change it if she wants to change it. But guess what? I'll say something and she'll go, well, I don't really want that. And I go, that's great, but I'm going to go and do that anyway. And you're welcome to come with me or not. And it's not about come with me or stay home. It's about if you have joy somewhere else, because we're always together and we love being together. But if she doesn't want to do something that in my heart of hearts, I really feel I need to do, because you know as well as I do, I'm on a mission, right? I have a vision, correct?
Yes.
And it's not about how much money I can make. It's, guess what? I humble myself down only to that, what we call universal intelligence, because I would not even exist. And so I am not going to disappoint that either. I'm going to stand up for my unlimited human potential. I am not going to do things to hurt my family, hurt my partner, or hurt anyone. But guess what? Relationships suck because we give up our authentic self and we never, ever go back and get it. And if we try to get it, you know as well as I do that your partner, your family, your friends, on a subconscious level, they undermine your strategy of finding yourself. Am I right or wrong here, Christine?
Yes, you are.
And they're not trying to do it on purpose. It's just you've decided to fly higher. You've decided to bring up your vibration, your frequency, and they go, listen, we're okay right here. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's their life. But what do you do when you marry someone, okay, and at the time of marriage, your personalities matched, and now they don't match? Well, there is the tug of war. If you're very religious, it'll be a big one, okay? And if you understand that everybody has a purpose on this life, and we're not out to end relationships, we're out to start better ones. We're not trying to get rid of bad habits. We're trying to introduce the great ones. You're looking at it wrong.
Okay.
Right. So you don't need extra weight. You need muscle. Now, to do that, are you ready to front end load on the fatty acids, the amino acids? Okay, and on the essential electrolyte minerals, because you're going to need to do that. Okay. I'll show you a couple of exercises.
I
Okay.
need some more. Yeah.
Well, no, you need to understand something. You spend your time doing something. Okay? Everybody spends their time doing something. So here's the reality. Okay? So I'm in Ixtapas, Zihuatanejo, Mexico. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I have so many things that now I have to be realistic. So I just turned 67 and I'm going, okay, you want to accomplish this before your spirit leaves the planet, okay? And that's the only way I'm ever going to say this, because my spirit will leave the planet, or not maybe leave the planet, go into a different dimension or something like that. I really don't know. I'm not going to pretend, and I'm not going to read a book where somebody said that the universal intelligence wrote it. Okay, I'm not going to do that either. Thank you very much. So let's stop the nonsense for me. But what I am going to do is I'm going to be logical in the present moment, saying, you know what? We just hired today a gentleman, a young boy named Alex. He's 18 years old. And guess what? He's going to do all the yard work, and he's going to help out in the video studio. He's going to help out everywhere. Christine, what can you let go? And what can you grow? What can you let go? And understand something. There is going to be such a slap in the face for the majority of the population. The biggest shift in this world, okay, in this go-around, this is the 5th go-around for this planet, that's actual science, it is going to occur in the next 5 years. And it's going to be kicked off right around the whole Trump thing. So the reality is, are you going to be able to keep minding your own business, your passion, your vision, your purpose, and go with it? And I get it. And I don't know your life, so I don't want to say it, but guess what? If your husband isn't in gear with this, or your children, I don't know if you have children or how many, or your friends, if they're not in gear with this, then guess what? You want to be loving? Well, then change 1% a day. And if that's too much for them and you don't want to do that, then guess what? There's no need for us to talk. You need to get comfortable with not putting on muscle, because it's not weight you want. You're not underweight. You're under muscle. You're not undernourished, because I know the nourishment you have. It's the monkey mind that is gobbling up everything, because you're overheating your brain when you should be working through your heart, and you should be honoring, loving, and respecting yourself first and foremost. And if you did that, you would not be dishonoring your husband, but he may feel that if you've been under his thumb and his control, which I think you might have been for many years. And please, we're not delving in any further to talk about this, but this is real life, Christine. This is a real consultation that people pay big money for, because they're actually ready to hear it. Other people will go to a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and he'll sit there with his pen and pencil and take notes and say, well, do you feel better today? We'll continue next week, and we'll go back and we'll unravel all the drama that you had. Listen, looking at your drama in your life, in your past, is important. You take a look at it, and you look how it has maybe skewed your perception, your vision. Okay, but that's all you use it for. You use it as a tool to get you back into alignment of unconditional love and care for yourself, and picking up your passion and purpose and dusting that off and shining it every day, okay, until, the genie pops out of that bottle, because it will, if you don't keep on changing your order with the universal waiter. There you go. What do you think?
I wasn't aware that I was feeling this monkey mind way of thinking. I was before, for sure.
No, but what you've done is you've brought it back. You've brought it down. You've done an incredible job. Look at you. You have done incredibly well. But you are telling me it's not enough. So what do you want me to do? Play Inky Dinky Schnitzel House?
No.
And understand something. Tell me that I'm wrong, that the mind doesn't create everything in your life.
I believe
Tell me
it.
I'm wrong. Tell me I'm
No,
wrong.
I believe it. I believe it.
Okay, then guess what? There's your situation. You have that monkey mind, and it is eating up your calories. It is eating up your alkaline trace minerals. It is chewing up your fatty acids. and it's tying you in knots.
Okay, thank you to remind me this. I'm more aware of what's still in there. So I'm learning so much every day with you.
Understand, everyone, if I can say this, because I just felt a vibe coming in. You don't understand, everyone, that she's a New World practitioner.
Yeah.
And she's taking our courses. And you're going to say, well, it doesn't look like she's actually made any headway. Well, guess what? That's how closed-minded you are. That's how closed-minded the majority of the population is. Because guess what? The majority of the population is going off the cliff. They're all just going off the cliff right now. You know, right now, we've got 86 to 92% of the population with an autoimmune disease, depending where you travel through the United States. Right now, we have, are you ready for this? In between 60 and 80% that are obese, because they changed the scale 30 years ago from 10 pounds to 40 pounds. So now you're obese at 40 pounds. You were obese back then with 10 pounds overweight. Everything has been changed just to accommodate the sick, fat, and exhausted lifestyle that we all know has taken over the planet. So the reality is, Christine, you cannot compare yourself to anyone else except continually working on your Braveheart Heroes contract and then understanding what human potential is. Do you understand even what human potential is? It's unlimited. I will never reach the goal of my potential. And that is the game down here. The people in power are toxic and twisted. They're even evil. And they've been given all of the control of the money. And it was to see if we could actually come into a slave planet and be a Braveheart hero to ourselves and rise above. If people think that it's any more than that, they've missed the whole game. And guess what? We know there's over 100,000 different religions. There's 40,000 prominent ones, dominant ones. And not that everybody's going to know the names, 4,000 I meant, but there are 100,000 different ones. And the reality is this, they've all got rules, and most of them are for rules for fools. Somebody had a dream, okay, or somebody came down off of something, and I don't know what that drug was. But the reality is, if it's okay with everyone, I'm going to stay in the present moment. I'm going to cherish every moment of my life. I'm going to respect the meat suit, this temple. Well, the temple is the inside part, but this meat suit, most people don't know how to respect it, because this is the same meat suit that animals have. We're built the same, okay? But we don't respect it because we've been taught to disrespect ourselves and each other. But then we say we love each other and we respect each other. And Christine, all of this has to do with underweight and undernourished, or overweight and undernourished, okay? Because the first nourishment is what? Vitamin L. What's vitamin L?
Love.
Self-love.
Self-love.
Vitamin L.
Self-love, yes.
It's self-love, but people don't want to buy into it. And, you know, I'm just another quack and I don't deserve to be called doctor. Only medical doctors that are drug dealers or they cut pieces out of people should be called doctors. Everything is asked backwards. Everything is asked backwards. And I don't care what people think anymore. All I know is I got to care what I think, and that is to love them anyway. Love everybody. And if you can't love somebody, then you go and you focus over here something and practice falling in love all day long. Don't focus on the things you can't change, the people you can't change, the world you can't change. Focus on the things you love, and guess what? That's how your weight comes back. And as far as putting weight on, you do know that if you actually put muscle back on, you can be a lean, keen, sexy machine. And that's the end of it. Are you willing to do it?
Thank you.
But you know what? I'll tell you what. If you want to come back on, me and you, I'll set up tomorrow or another day. I'm leaving though for Canada. I'm doing a very intense training with a group of not natural but more medical people on how to pull tumors apart and how to work with tumors. And I leave on Monday, so I won't be back for about 10 days. So listen, if you want to come on, I'll set it up there and I'll just show you some basic exercises to start with. Okay?
Okay, beside the ones that you taught us in Ixtapa?
Well, I'll show you some
squat,
other. I'll show you some other things. You know, they're easy. But you know what? Yeah. Also, why don't you download the exercise chair app? I don't know. It's like $29 or something. You know.
I've done that, and I've done the trampoline too.
You're not getting enough amino acids.
Okay, but I need to work it out.
You know what? I'm not telling you that I'm Mr. Strong, so just know that. But you know, you can see there's something there still. It's hard, but the reality is I've upped my amino acids. Okay, I've upped them a lot, and I'm upping my amino acids because when I was traveling for the last 2 years around the world doing courses and trainings, right? You know, I put a couple little love handle here, something here. I don't have that now. So I'm a lean keen. I might have about 3 pounds I'd like to get rid of, but I won't get rid of the 3 pounds because guess what? I'm going to up my amino acids, up my trace minerals, up my fatty acids, and I'm going to do lots of plant protein. And the reality is I'm going to actually be a lean keen muscle machine. And the reality is I won't look any bigger, but I'll be toned. I'm not looking for bigger. I'm looking for tone. And understand something. As you get older, you're looking for tone muscle. You're not looking for bulk muscle. You're looking for tone muscle. And you're looking to, like, you should be spending a half an hour stretching, and you should be doing a half an hour of toning. And that's the game. That's the game. You got to stretch it out because most people have a contractual mind, don't they? They're contracted, right? All right. Most people are in fight or flight all day long. And it doesn't mean like it's total chaos, but it's that constant drip, 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 waiting for the shoe to fall. Yes or no?
Yep.
I don't care what shoe falls. The whole wall can fall. Everything can fall. And I am not going off my routine. You need to understand that 98% of all chaos is orchestrated and strategized and actually there for our entertainment. And then it's entertainment, that the world is a scary, freaky place. And God, I will give up all my rights to the government and the psycho elite just to protect us. Understand that. That's all it's for. 98% of all crises outside of yourself are all manipulated. Okay? Your son, your daughter, your husband, your friends freaking out. Why are they freaking out? Because they didn't mind their own business. So then that could affect you and even infect you, couldn't? You get enough of those around you, and guess what? You become scared of your own life. You become scared of the future. And understand something. You just derailed yourself from your passion and your purpose, and now you're underweight. And if you're not underweight, you're not overweight, but you look like a blimp because you're retaining water and you've got to create fat cells or cancer. So, and it's all inflammation. So the inflammation that you create on an emotional and physical level, you have to create fat cells. And that's why everybody's fat. Everybody's fat because they're inflamed. And they're inflamed because they're infected, and they're infected emotionally and physically. And that's the bottom line. And the world better get that really clear. And it's not going to stop. We are going to have alien invasions. Well, they've got an alien invasion in the United States. The reality is it's just starting to piss people off, and we'll have a real alien invasion pretty soon. They're going to do whatever they can because they've been working on this for 250 years. A small group of psychos, okay, that said, wow, we can actually take 1/3 of the planet that nobody will be allowed to go except our families. We got this, baby. We will get them to not eat food. They will be eating fake food, okay? And and they will be living in 15-minute cities, and we'll be driving our jets, and we'll drive them right in front of their houses, and they won't be able to do anything. Before, they used to hide their stuff. Now they just come out and they just put it in your face and go, you're not going to be able to do anything about it, because the majority of the population is so sick, fat, and exhausted. So what are you going to do with the rest of your day today, Christine? Buy into their story, or tell and write your own Braveheart Heroes contract and mind your own business, and don't allow. Do you actually think that somebody can walk into my house and come in here with some kind of drama? Like, London's burning. We're talking about the UK.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're going to try to spread this all around the world. And the reality is, I'm not going to hate anyone. I'm not going to feel bad for anyone. But what I am going to do is I want to be there for the people and let them know that, we have empathy. But the reality is this: we all had a choice. We had a choice to stand up for ourselves. And unless we stand up for ourselves, we'll never stand up for each other. What do you think, Christine?
We need to stand with each other.
Well, we're not going to. Okay?
No?
No. In 7 years, 5 to 7 years, there's going to be us and them. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. And there'll be a lot of us and there'll be a lot of them. Okay. And you know what? I'm not telling you this because, oh my God, he's so negative. I thought he was a positive guy. Well, the reality is this: I don't fairy tale myself. 1 and 1 are 2, not 11. And right now, how's the transgender thing going? How's that? How's the Pride Day now, Pride Month? And you can't do anything about it. And people that are lost and confused, they're looking for themselves. And understand something: it's government approved and government stamped. And I am not. And I never will be. So why are you underweight? Well, are you minding your own business? Are you connecting to the Lionheart breath? Are you letting anything affect you around the world? How much drama do you have? Are you living your best life? Are you actually every day risking a little bit? Okay? Are you risking a little bit to have change? Not risking your life, not risking gambling at the casino, but if you're not willing to go and risk every day and do something different and to lovingly, gently push yourself further, then what are you doing?
Well, today I pushed myself to be live with you.
I bet you did.
And thank you for that.
And I didn't mean to do all the talking, but the reality is, everyone, she has so many strategies, and we're talking to a highly intelligent woman. We're talking to a logical woman that her heart gets in the way of her life.
Got it.
Pardon?
I got it. I have a question for you, though.
Have I said anything untrue?
I need to process that, but not untrue, but I need to process it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot
It's a lot. It's a lot. And guess what? We just said that you matter completely. Yes. We just said that if you actually gives, we can give people Band-Aids, but if we actually give somebody the truth, they need time to process it. It might be hours. It could be days. We just need to sit with it in alignment and calmly, and then see how this new pair of shoes feels. You might put this new pair of shoes on and they're uncomfortable for a little bit. So just keep wearing them. Let them be uncomfortable for a little bit and see if they start to be as snug as a hug around your feet. That's how it is. When somebody says something to me and I get this, right? I don't want to do the react and attack. Leave that with me. I'll think about it. Yeah. Daryl, you could have done it differently. You could have said it differently. Okay, leave it with me. I'll review what we just did here, this conversation. But I know that I did not push you off a cliff. I took you to the cliff and said, okay, you want to take a good look at it? Let's take a good look at it. If you came on my show and you weren't ready for this, do you think I'm going to do this with anyone else? I'm not going to do this with anyone else. This would be abusive
Yeah.
because the person needs to have the tools and not, like right now, you're not left feeling like a victim. You're not feeling beat up and you're not feeling like, oh my God, is he in a bad mood today? He just ripped a piece off of me. No,
Not
the
at all.
reality is if people really want to fly and they want to have their passion, their vision come true, then they have to do something that only 1% of 1% of 1% of the population ever does. And that's travel by yourself on this one.
And I'll put my dancing
You
shoes.
need to travel by yourself on this one.
With dancing shoes.
And that doesn't mean you're leaving anybody behind. I just said nobody can help you with this one.
Yes. Well, thank you. It means a lot for me because it is a journey since it's been like 2 years now and more than I'm learning from you. And I've been to the training in last January, and I'll be at in Mixtapa in October to do the second training. So
In October? Yeah, October the 7th.
yeah, so
Your next stop, Zihuatanego, everyone. So you might want to check it out at braveheartnation.com. Go ahead, please, Christine.
so I really into it. I left my job on the 5th of July. I took a sabbatical year just to learn to take care of myself and align with what I wanted to become. And
I think that's so beautiful. I told you, you're the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. You are. Because most people would never do that. They wouldn't give themselves time to get to know themselves again. From being a teenager where you're looking for a new family because you think yours has let you down, to finding a new family, to creating a new family, to working and creating a new family. And then all of a sudden you go, wow, I need to find me again.
so I just want to say that I'm becoming this practitioner for myself and my family first, but first and foremost for myself. And every day I'm learning to master all those skills and tools that you gave us. And I'm into it. I am into it every day. So thank you for for the truth you brought to me today.
And, I have to say the same thing, though, and that is thank you for trusting me because, like I said, it's like the deal is that you have to completely trust yourself more than anyone else on this planet. If you reach that goal, Christine, when we make a decision, it's like there's two parts of us. The part that makes the decision, and then there's the part that says, I got your back. I got your back. And even if we don't succeed here, I got your back. Okay? And if we do succeed, guess what? We did it. But if we don't succeed, we'll find another way. I got your back. You need to be talking to yourself like that because we never stop talking. The brain never stops. And oh my God, did I make the right decision? Well, it's done now. If anything, you're saying, I got your back. What?
It's up to me, yeah.
No, but it's not up to you. You can't say that. I got your back. I made a decision and I am going to back you. Remember when you used to have a really great girlfriend or maybe, I don't know, maybe your husband's like this. I don't know what your life's like. But the reality is somebody that says, no matter what, I will always be there for you. And that's where you need to get to. I am always there for myself. I will never beat myself up, no matter how big a mistake I made, because if I do that, all I did was guilt myself and didn't learn nothing. If I observe that mistake and then I go, what did I do and what could I have done to make that better? Now I learn.
Yeah.
Guilt, okay, which has been seeped through many religions, through education everywhere, okay, is their weapon. You know what? There was times in my life where I was like really pissed off that I was even here once I woke up. And the reality is guess what? This is a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure, and I got this. And I can't change the rules, but I can definitely focus on my unlimited human potential, and I will bow down to no human being on this planet ever. I said ever. There is no authority over me. And the reality is everything that the majority of the population does, I don't want anything to do with. I'm still looking at what they do. I'm looking for some good signs. I'm looking for, that would be it, wouldn't it? When the majority of the population are doing things that love, honor, respect, and protect themselves, then we have a breakthrough here, don't we?
Yeah. For sure.
Okay. So what do we do, Christine? We process through our heart,
Yep.
shine that light on everyone, and what they do with it, it is none of our business. Because if we're looking for everyone to be successful, it's not their time. But we can definitely sow seeds everywhere, leave smiles everywhere, leave encouragement everywhere. And don't put anybody on the hook, especially ourselves. What would you like to say to everybody before we sign off, love?
There's so much power in us, and just give you the chance just to discover it and to shine it. It took me some courage to come to talk about myself today, but I knew that I was in good hands with Daryl. So go for it with your heart. Thank you.
And thank you for blessing us with your presence, and I mean that. And understand something. You've come so far. You're doing amazing. Remember, today wasn't about what you haven't done. Today was just showing you what you can do. That's it.
So I'm celebrating this moment.
Please, because you should be. And you're doing it right. And thank you. And have a beautiful day, Christine.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
There you go, everyone. That's Real People, Real Healing. And I usually do, 2, sometimes 3 a week. It depends on what else is going on. If somebody's out there and they want to do a Real People, Real Healing, I mean, I'm not scared to say it. I charge $350 for a consult. Whether it's emotional, nutritional, physical, or the whole ball of wax. And then they get my lifetime support. And but when people come on Real People, Real Healing, because you're coming on and sharing, you've done your part. And the thing is this, if you just realize that there's unlimited everything on this planet. They want you to believe that things are limited. There's more drinking water in the earth that we could tap into than there is drinking water than there is water on the planet, even the oceans. There's enough air, there's enough water, there's enough love if you start with yourself first and foremost. And there's no way that we're going to starve Whether you want to believe this or not, there's about 8 billion, 9 billion people here. We could have 100 billion people on this planet and have no problems. And, you know, they're going to bring scientists on, and real science, and doctors and people to validate them. Because let me just leave this with you today. How much would I have to pay you for you to let your integrity go? Seriously. It's amazing what people will do for money. You know what? Find your passion and your purpose. Don't look for a job. Don't look for a job. Nobody needs a job. Be creative. Use your imagination, your intuition. Okay? All right? Rewrite your own story. Okay? I'm telling you, right from your religion if it's got chokeholds on you. Rewrite your own story from what you've been taught all the way through school. Rewrite your own story every day. Connect to your breath. Stay in the moment. And know that, guess what? That which created the universe does not love you. It's beyond that. 3, 2, 1. We're stronger when we rise together. God bless.